that were very similar in the standings.
Yeah, they were able to make the plays to come out on top, but it really could have...
First official NBA appearance from Hooper.
You know, he's a great young player and even a better young man. So personally, I couldn't be happier for him. I know he's thinking about the game, but I hope he's able to take a moment to just enjoy this accomplishment.
Well said, and I hope so too. I mean, as a player, you want to stay even-keeled, but it's almost impossible. I mean, there's just so much that you've gone through to reach this point. It has to be emotional. They're allowing a sky-high field goal percentage. That won't get it.
Not at all, Clark. You rarely see a team surrender points this easily. They have got to do better.
All right, Phoenix, keep it going for your Suns answer.
Kevin, a look here at how the Suns ranked in the NBA last season. 3rd in fast break points, 6th in steals. And they were one of the top 10 teams in the league at scoring points off turnovers. I'd call them a very opportunistic team.
And as you pointed out, when it came to running the break, I mean, they were terrific. They left teams really just grasping for breath and unable to match that breakneck pace.
Knight kicks to Freak. Outside Knight. Pass to Freak. He dishes it to Chandler. Good ball movement here by the Suns. And it's Freak missing.
You know, a team's rebounding is one of the great measures of its energy, and theirs has been terrific in the first quarter.
Yeah, they've brought it in terms of having another level of intensity right from the tip.
A shot by Knight, no good.
And you can see the defenders afraid to kind of get in his way a lot of times when he's on his way to the basket. But on that one, they were there.
Suns trail by 12. And guys, what a spark plug J.J. Barea has been throughout his career. When he comes in the game, you can feel the lift. We saw a couple games against Houston in the playoffs. Saw it back in 2011 in the championship season for the Mavs.
Great point. I mean, he has an energizing effect on his teammates, the fans, and the announcers. I mean, he just brings so much spirit and hustle to the games. Very hard not to root for a guy like that.
Tucker with the ball, now guarded by Parsons. It's Knight with the drive. Again, the miss by Knight.
And he rushed that one, no doubt about it. The D out of position, you could see the frustration on his face.
Up top, Barea. He's guarded by Knight. Powell dishes to Parsons. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there. And Chandler Parsons really set off a Texas rivalry last year, drafted by the Rockets in the 2nd round. He received an offer sheet in free agency from the team's rival, the Dallas Mavericks. Eventually chose Dallas, injured in the playoffs, hurt a knee, only played the 1 game. But I think they've got great things ahead for him with the Mavs.
Yeah, you know, Parsons was a restricted free agent, so that meant the Rockets could match if they wanted to, but they declined to match Dallas's offer, which sent Parsons packing just up the road in Texas.
And here we go. Fast break. Barea's got it. Goes back up. And Parsons with the lay-in. Parsons got his 3rd basket of the night.
They've wasted no time settling into their offense.
Yeah, they're lasered in. I mean, really making the most of their possessions. You know, back to the topic of Parsons' free agency, the offer from the Mavs was 3 years, $46 million. Houston didn't want to go that high, so they reluctant.
And that bucket right there, folks, is the first official NBA basket from Hooper.
Yeah, and he's playing it cool right now, but let me tell you, I'm sure that basket means the world to him. There's nothing like the first one.
My thought is he's probably just happy to have it out of the way. I mean, no more waiting and wondering when it'll come. Those first points are finally in the rearview mirror.
And talking about the Texas showdown over Parsons last year, even his teammates got involved. After Parsons left, James Harden reacted saying that Dwight Howard and Harden were the cornerstones of the Rockets. But that's probably nothing compared to the rivalry that the two teams' ownerships felt.
Knight, that's a 2-pointer, and he sinks the shot coming off the strong pick. Knight's got his first 2 points of the night.
And he came off that screen, and the D just didn't get over the top of him.
Yep, weren't there in time enough to challenge Greg, and when that's the case, You can mark those up for him.
And the defense looks soft early on. They've got to sum it up. A little more sense of urgency.
Yeah, they've got to do a little more to disrupt their offensive rhythm, too. Guys, that time he went for the fancy finish for us there, man. That was sweet.
Shot clock and game clock separated by less than 6 seconds. Now here's Barea. He's guarded by Knight. McGee a screen. Felton. Again, the Mavericks score.
And off to a strong start offensively. He's got a nice touch.
Up top, Knight. Guarded by Barea. 4 seconds left. And again, Brandon Knight. Knight's got his second basket of the night.
I mean, if the defender is going to play off like that, and you know what's going to happen, there are going to be points put on the board.
The first quarter concludes in a double-digit lead on the scoreboard. It's Dallas. They lead by 13. The second quarter coming up right after this break, so don't go anywhere. Well, earlier we sat down with Freak and asked him about playing in his first NBA game.
On your face for no good reason at all. We in a bad place.
You know, Clark, you don't see that kind of perspective for most rookies, do you?
You really don't, Kevin. I mean, I really like his approach to the game. What remains to be seen, though, is will that translate to consistent production on the court.
And the Suns with a completely new group on the floor. Suns trail by 13. Big change last year for the Mavs came when they traded for Rajon Rondo. It looked to be the missing piece for him, Clark, but boy, it just never seemed to come together.
You just don't know. Trades are always risky. You don't know how they're going to work out, and I give credit to ownership for talking to the players to see what they thought about the trade before they actually made the deal.
On the floor right now for the Mavericks, Deron Williams out there with J.J. Barea, and there's JaVale McGee. Then there's Chandler Parsons, and it's Powell in at the power forward position.
They have been board dominant in this game. That's definitely been a factor in crafting this huge lead.
And it's been a well-rounded performance. I mean, strong rebounds have certainly been at the center of it, but it's been good on a number of levels.
And things just didn't really work out with Rondo here with the Mavs. Missed a lot of games and at times clashed with that coaching staff.
And, you know, they said it was the injury, but you have to suspect the Mavs just shut him down in the playoffs. They took a big swing and missed with Rondo in acquiring him, but I think you have to give them credit for at least taking the risk.
Knight into the lane, and the shot is good. Knight's got 6 points. Mavericks leading by 12. Parsons outside. Dishes to Williams. Banked in off the glass. 16 points for him.
No doubt about the consistency when it comes to scoring the basketball for him tonight. A real nice lift for their offense.
Move the ball and stick it too much.
Knight with it. Williams picks him up. Knight into the lane. Nice D from Williams.
You know, he just hasn't looked right to me. A bit out of sorts, if you will. Something's off with his mechanics, at least as I look at it.
Really, the defense is helpless to stop a layup right there. Just too much of an advantage in terms of the mismatch.
And an important part of every team's game, a look at the hustle stats for the Mavericks.
They've come out in attack mode on the defensive end. They've applied pressure and forcing turnovers.
The other thing they've had going for them tonight is working hard on the offensive glass. They've had a number of putbacks.
And so it's Dallas with it. 54 seconds left in the first half. Chandler with the steal. Moving it up. And Freak throws it down. And here we see the debut of Freak, the kid from Harlem. His first time on an NBA floor. And Clark, it's a moment that he's worked very hard to achieve, and his family has got to be proud.
Extremely so, Kevin. It's been a long journey for him, but every level along the way, he's found success. High school phenom, playing for a college championship. I wouldn't bet against this kid on anything when it comes to basketball.
Powell, that's good.
He's really starting to ramp it up now, getting involved in the offense here after being held without a point in the first.
8-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. It's Knight with the drive. Here's Tucker. That's good. The assist that time from Knight. Tucker's got 5 points so far.
Brandon Knight certainly can pass the orange.
Williams up on top. He's covered by Hooper. Williams up on top. 16 points for him. To the inside. Outside for Barea. With 1 on the clock, and that's not going to go. That'll do it for the first half. Mavericks lead by 12. We'll see you after halftime for the beginning of the third quarter.
Hey fellas, let's go over what happened in the first half. It wasn't what we had in mind, but there's plenty of time to get things straightened out. The amount of scoring we got from close range was great. Keep looking to make those quick fire entry passes. It's hard to argue with a bunch of layups and 6-footers. One big.
All right, Phoenix, keep it going. They're yours.
Now it's been a one-sided affair so far through the first 2 quarters, but there's plenty of time to mount a comeback. It's been one outstanding game from Darren Williams.
I know we've said this many times before, but what a great first half.
And so it's Dallas winning this one. A truly gutsy performance away from home.
You know, it really was. And Kevin, when this one was hanging in the balance late, they showed just what a tough-minded group they can be.
And that about does it for the first game of the new NBA season. This is Kevin Harlan thanking you for watching. And coming up next, the postgame show with Ernie Johnson, Shaq, and Kenny the Jet.
The 2K Sports postgame show.
Many thanks, Kevin. So now we move on to our Jordan player of the game, Dirk Nowitzki. He had an outstanding fourth quarter where he really shined, pouring it on heavy down the stretch.
They asked an awful lot from him tonight offensively, and he delivered. When they needed a big bucket, he was the guy they turned to, and he...
And that's it for our broadcast here tonight. But we're just getting started on a new season in the NBA. For Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith, Kevin Harlan, and the entire 2K Sports crew, I'm Ernie Johnson. We'll see you again soon.